When I came was 20 and a half years ago. I was 25. I was in the midst of getting a PhD in psychology. But more interesting than that is the second part in terms of what I learned, which really at the core has been this teaching of the Gita. It wasn't given to me like that. Pujya Swamiji was very, very, very careful from the beginning not to do anything that would be seen or felt in any way as though I were being converted or, was never about, oh, read this or study that. But the teachings were this, which is, I had always thought that happiness and success came from these things outside. In the Gita, there's a line in which Krishna says, a yogi is one to whom a lump of clay, a handful of dirt, and a brick of gold are the same. Now that's really interesting because we also know that a yogi is one with great powers of discrimination. So clearly he doesn't mean that you literally lose the ability to feel the difference. But in terms of that which matters, that which actually is the truth of my life, well, clay and dirt and gold are about all as equally able to fill me on the inside. And that was the teaching that I got. Very experientially. It wasn't in this format. It was much more of being hit over the head with experience after experience that literally knocked me off my feet and onto the floor. But that was the teaching, was here are all the things that you thought mattered. Here's what you thought it meant to be successful. Here's what you thought you needed to be happy. And through some incredible, undeserved grace of God, I was given that at a very young age and not forced to go through decades and decades and decades and decades and decades of looking in the wrong place for what I was looking for. It's something for which I would very, very, very grateful. But, as Pujya Swamiji always says, whenever you wake up, it's morning. And so whenever that is, the time is always right. And it's always morning. And the last piece that I would share in this essence of what I've learned is a metaphor that I give about the moon, which is that for most of us, particularly those of us from the West, we're really kind of indoctrinated into this idea of what are you going to be? Like, what's your role here that you're going to... And it's all about me. And I've got to become, I've got to be, I've got to do. And what I love about the moon is beautiful. And there's, in every religion, so many prayers and songs written about the moon. And a full moon guides home sailors, guides people out of the forest. People say, oh, the moon is so bright. But the moon actually has no light of her own. The moon is a piece of rock floating in the atmosphere like so many other pieces of rock. The only thing that makes the moon unique is that she has figured out how to align herself in such a way with the sun and the earth that she's able to reflect that light of the sun onto the earth. Because the opposite usually of feeling like it's all about me is, I'm useless. Well, I'm just a piece of rock like every other piece of rock. So eat, drink, and be merry. I mean, like, why not? But the teaching of the moon is no, wait. Because yes, although you are just a piece of rock, just a piece of matter, if you align yourself correctly, you actually can reflect the light of the divine onto all of those around you. And that's what the moon does. I mean, the moon is never full or half or moonless. It's just she goes in and out of alignment. And so in our lives, when we feel lightless, to simply ask ourselves, how have I gone out of alignment and how can I get back in alignment? And just to always remember, I've got this incredible ability to reflect light, to reflect love, to reflect peace on the world around me. But never to get lost in thinking it's my light, that I'm the manufacturer of this light. I'm the reflector of it.